Good afternoon, guys. Jordan here at the Nutty Gnome Homestead. Today is April 13th, 2023, and I'm sitting out here underneath the shade tree beside our greenhouse, uppotting and transplanting a bunch of plants for our garden. So what I have in front of me is I have some cantaloupe, watermelon, zucchini, cucumbers, and I believe there might even be some giant cantaloupe and giant watermelon in here as well. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be transplanting them from these little 6-cell plugs into 4-inch planter pots that we can put out into the garden here in a couple of weeks when the weather is right. So I'm going to bring you guys in real close and I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay, so what we have here is a little 6-cell plug tray that we have planted our pickle bush cucumbers in. And as you can see, there's multiple seeds that were sown in each one of these cells. And just because a couple of them produce doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and pinch them off. I'm going to plant all these and get them all separated. These are small enough that I can separate them with ease and it won't really be detrimental to the plant. So what we're going to do is you pinch the sides, turn it over, and push up from the bottom, and these plants just come right out. Now granted, these have not been in here very long and they've got some massive roots on them already. So that one is almost root bound. And I'm going to show you guys how we separate these. Just take them and gently tease. Don't get in a big hurry. You don't want to feel any pulling or tugging. Just sit here and tease, and these roots will untangle and separate. And now I have two perfectly healthy, massive root systems on these plants. These are perfect for pickling cucumbers. So I'm going to take our little 4-inch nursery pot. Now, as you guys can see, there's roots on this that are probably almost 6 inches long. It's got a nice healthy set of leaves on it. These grow very, very quickly. And you guys will have to forgive me. I'm working around our camera here. So we got a little bit of soil. This is our potting soil that we make here on the homestead. Our compost, peat moss, and perlite potting mix. We filled it about halfway. I'm going to put these in there, and if the roots start to curl around, I'm going to dump some of this out. I want to make sure that those roots aren't compacted at all whenever I put them in this pot. And gently hold on to the leaves, and then begin to fill the pot. And that is how we uppot our cucumbers, zucchini, watermelon, cantaloupe, and other plants into these little 4-inch nursery pots. We'll give it a good drink. This is going to spring up and it's going to get a good flush of growth here in the next couple of days. And this will almost double in size. Set this down in a tray. We'll do another one. Here's another one that I already took out earlier. As you guys can see, it's got some pretty good roots on it. There's the two plants, two of the seeds that came up in the cells. Now I always recommend to try to put at least 2 seeds per cell. That way, so if one does not make, you still get a second chance. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to gently tease these 2 plants apart. And I'm just gently shaking, gently working away. I'm not in any hurry. And you can see all that soil falling out of there. Like I said, there should be no tugging at all. You should just be gently shaking until those come apart on their own, and you get 2 perfectly healthy pickle bush cucumber plants that are ready to be uppotted. So here's one where I put 3 seeds into a cell, and all 3 of the seeds germinated. This doesn't always happen. You'll always notice that one of the plants is going to be dominant. Sometimes you'll get 2 that are pretty close, but this is the dominant plant in that cell. This is number 2, and this little guy down here is number 3. He should be pretty easy to separate. Like I said, instead of pinching these off and wasting them, especially with how expensive plants are, we're just going to separate these, get them planted. I mean, who knows? You may have a friend that wants to do some trading. So you've got an extra plant available. We do a lot of bartering. There you go. It's 1, 2, and 3 out of that one little cell. If you were to buy that, that'd cost you $16, $17 at the store right now at $5.50 a plant. Instead of pinching them off, you saved yourself 11 bucks. Might be able to get an extra couple cucumbers out of them for pickling this year, or have an extra plant to trade with a friend. Okay folks, so we had originally planted 2 of these little 6-cell plug trays of our pickle bush cucumbers. And as you can see, we ended up with 28 viable plants out of all of that. This is why I recommend planting multiple seeds in each one of those plugs, and not to pinch them off if you can keep from it. If they look healthy and they're not really struggling, go ahead and let them grow. Separate them out when you can, and they start to grow really fast. I mean, these guys are just a couple of weeks old, and they're growing like weeds, literally. So, that's how we like to do it. Saves us time and money. So, I mentioned earlier that you could also do this with watermelons. With the watermelons, I typically only plant 2 seeds per cell. And as you can see, I've had a couple of these that didn't come up, or I've got one over here that's struggling. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to uppot these guys the same way. So just like last time, we're going to pinch, push up from the bottom, and these are just going to slip right out. And look at the roots on those guys. For I've only been in there a couple of weeks, they really have exceptional roots on them. I'm a firm believer that this potting mix that we make up is the reason why, is the reason why all of our plants do so well. Nice and loose, fluffy. And now this little guy here, you guys can see he's kind of struggling to get out. We will probably go ahead and plant him and keep him separated, give him a little more TLC. He'll probably go ahead and make. He's got some decent roots on him for his size. And this leftover potting mix in here, it gets recycled. Now I want you guys to look at the roots on these. The roots of this guy are about 4 inches, 5 inches long. He's about 5 inches of top growth, getting ready to put on second flush off the very top. These guys were only planted 2 weeks ago. This is 2 weeks of growth, in this very fertile potting soil. It really does make a difference when you mix your own. You know what's going in it. You get bigger, healthier plants. And it helps you keep everything organic, or as organic as you possibly can. A nice little healthy plant right there. It's going to make a nice little watermelon plant. And just because, like I said, we do put 2 to 3 seeds per cell, just because one of them comes up doesn't mean you need to pinch the other ones off. If you've got the space, go ahead and up pot them into a larger pot, separate them out, and you can double or triple your production for very little effort. So that was just a little quick video on how we up pot our 6 cell plugs of zucchini and cucumbers and squash and cantaloupe and watermelons and so on and so forth. I've got quite a few more left here to do. I'm going to go ahead and get potting on them. Looks like I'll probably get another 40 or 50 pots made up tonight before I run out of light. So if you guys like this kind of comment, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me directly or leave a message down below. This is how we do it, folks. This is how we produce our own food here on the homestead. We try to grow the majority of our vegetables. We produce the main part of our meat. Things are getting tough out there. You're going to have to start taking care of yourself. Until next time, y'all stay safe.